The layouts concept in letters refers to how the different parts of a letter are placed on a page. It's not so much about the content of your letter, and it's important to remember that. If you're new to Sentral, then this list might be very short, or you might only see the default layout. If your school has been using Sentral for a while, then you may see a longer list, and you can see there are a few more listed here. In this video, we'll go through the default layout, but notice here that you can also create your own layouts. And it's also worth noting that there is no option to delete the default layout. Click Edit. There are three things to consider here: Details, Design, and Preview. If you've used Sentral reports before, you'll notice the similarity between letters and producing reports. We'll start with Details. There are some simple details at the top, like the name, description, paper size, and orientation. Something to take special notice of is which components you want to include. You can turn these on and off as you need, however, it's likely they'll stay on. But keep the concept of using components in your mind, as we'll look at that when we work with templates in the video on managing letters. You also have the option to include a watermark and specify page borders and margins. Remember that these numbers aren't millimeters, they are PDF units. Again, you don't need to know exactly what a PDF unit is, it's just not a millimeter. Down below there is also the option to specify template styles. This will affect what the text looks like. To see how that works, let's quickly look at the Preview tab. Remember that all these bits of information are placed in components, and the text inside them has a style assigned to it. Let's make an obvious change to this text to see the relationship between the text and the style. It's currently displayed with Header 3 style. We'll close all that and go back down to Template Styles. Let's edit the Header 3 style. Make the font size, say, 30 PDF units. Click Save, then return to Preview. See how this text is obviously different. So remember that it's the style that governs the look of the text. Now, clearly that's not going to work, so we can revert it back to the default setting. Now let's take a look at the Design tab. Notice this little pencil icon. You might think that this is where you can change the contents of the component. But remember, this is about layout, not content. And these fields are all components. Take this first one as an example. You can make minor changes to the content, but it's mostly about how the information is laid out, like which side to display the logo, text styles, and padding. The padding values here determine the white space around the component. Likewise, in the second component, here there is no option to change any content. The address shown here is pulled from the database and automatically filled for the student's parents or carer. Even with this component, the content component, you'd think that this is where you can change the content of the letter. After all, I can see some content and a pencil editing icon. But no, this is purely about how the component behaves. Content is defined in the template, and you can see a reminder for that here. To specify what content goes into letters and what kinds of letters we'd like to have, we need to visit the Manage Letters page, and we'll cover that in a separate video.